Hello and welcome to today's session. So in today's video, we are going to discuss about how do we build a Streamlit dashboard for a tennis match analysis. So we are going to get a data set from this Kaggle link given below, and we will also do some data transformation to fit that into our requirement of creation of dashboards. And then we would ask a bot to generate some code based on the comments given for creation of specific charts. On the same line, we would also ask GitHub Copilot to generate some code for us so that it can give the similar kind of charts for us. So which code is better can be decided based on how much changes are we making on top of the code generated by any of these two, whether Bard is able to give us exact code or whether GitHub is able to give us the exact code. So that would be for today's session. So let's get started. So this is the data set given in that Kaggle link. So let's go through this and understand what transformations do we need to do. So if you see, these are the common columns which we need to retain. But after that, if you see, the cells or the headers highlighted in blue color are basically for the winners. So the same kind of columns will be available for the runner person as well. And there are a couple of columns which are neutral, which we may not use typically. So these are the couple of columns which we may not use in our match analysis. And then there are some columns like the standard metrics of aces, double faults, and the first serve and second serve, and how many points they have faced, how many points they have faced. So these are the columns. These are separate for winners and which are highlighted in blue color, and the same are highlighted in orange color for the losers. And there are four more columns like winner rank and winner rank points and loser rank and loser rank points as well. So these are the couple of areas. And finally, the total points won. So these are the columns which have been given. But now, how do we want it? Is we want two different rows for winner and for the loser. So that's how we want it. We do not want separate columns for winners and separate columns for losers. Then we need to specify it every time. That would be a pain point for us. So let's see, how do we want the data exactly. So this is how we want the data. So if you see here, I'm just zooming in a bit. So this is how we want the data. So we want the common cells, everything up to here. It is the common cells which we have. So we will retain them as it is. I have done some transformation on the date. So I would provide both the links, the Kaggle data link as well as my Jupyter notebook code so that you can run. And the output of the Jupyter code also would be given in the description section. So you have two different data sets. You can use the raw one, which is available from Kaggle link, or you have the revised version, which has been created after transformation. You have both the data sets, and I would also provide the code to you, right? So from here onwards, if you see, we have the player name, we have the player hand, nationality, age, all the details have been given here. So how do we decide who is the winner? So winner would be here one, and if you scroll down further, there are zeros. So these are all the losers in the tennis matches. So for each line item, so if I filter, so this is the unique match number which has been created, using hash key, so that for each match we do not have any specific key given by the Kaggle dataset directly. So if we create a specific hash key, we can just append the dataset properly. So that's what we did in our Python code. So if I filter this particular one, so let me go ahead and filter this. So if I filter this one, so let me just check only one line item. So you'll get two. So the same thing happens for any hash key you filter. So each hash key will have two line items, and you'll have all the players information. So one would be winner and the other would be zero, which is the loser. So so we do not have to specify separate columns for winners and losers separately. Now let's go through the Jupyter Notebook code. So this is about a couple of transformation steps what we have done. So you can see the libraries what we have imported, and this is the just reading the Excel sheet, and then this is where we have used the function to create a hash key. So without the hash key, concatenating different columns from winner dataset and loser dataset would be difficult. So we have created a hash key for that. And if you see further, we have segregated the winner columns and we have segregated the loser columns. So instead of being in the same line, we would also create one more column. For winners, it would be given with a value of 1, and for losers, the value of winner would be 0. So based on the winner, whether it is 1 or not or 0, we can decide whether the player has won or not. Now, the loser columns and the winner columns would be given same so that we can concatenate easily. And that's when we would also change the column names to a standard names, which we can use in the analysis. And we have passed the date in certain format because the data set given in the Kaggle link, the date is in a very number format. It is not in the date format. So we had to pass in a specific format. And then this is just an analysis. So if you filter a specific player's name by inputting, so if you input the date here and if you input the unique match number here, we should be able to see who is the winner. In this case it is Felix, and you can only see those two row items here, so for the winner and for the loser. And the winner in this particular hash key which we have entered, so for this hash key for this match, the winner is Felix and the runner-up is Roberto. So this is the code which has been used to transform the data as we need so that we can create a lot of charts as per our requirement. So we have two different files. So one is tennis dashboard py. So this is where we would be using Github Copilot to do that. And the second one is basically tennis bard, where we would ask a couple of questions to bard and we would ask it to generate the code. So before we go ahead and ask uh, different code generation tools to generate the code, we would have to load the data set. So I would just say is equal to pg.read underscore excel, and I would store df merged.xlsx, and I would create a sidebar so that my selection is taken into that sidebar. So st.sidebar, and let me store this in sidebar. And let me also give last year is 2022 because all of our tennis data set is from 2022. Now in the sidebar, let me give some selection. Select box, and I would ask the user to select match, and that would be from the df, and unique match number. So this is the hash key which we had generated. Unique match num. And this is something I am going to store in match select variable. So when the user selects, that is stored in this particular variable. And as per that, I'm also going to filter my data frame for unique match num, and I would give match select. And this is something I'm going to store in filter ds. So this is users preferences. This is I'm going to store here. And now what should I do? I have to give a couple of other pointers for the user that you have selected so and so match, and this is what I'm going to display. So I'm going to say st.sidebar.header, and I'm going to give saying match details you selected. I'm going to give a date select as well. So that could be again from the filter data frame. And I'm going to take this filter df, and I'm going to give unique match number, and I'm going to give match select. So this is our variable, and we will take the date from this, and I'm going to give ilog 0, and this is something we will store in a variable called as date select. So based on the user's preferences, so the date is selected now. And then similarly, we'll have to create for 4 more variables. That is, what kind of cup is that? Who is the winner? Who is the runner from the match? So these 3, and the coat as well. We have one more option. What kind of coat was it? Was it a hard coat or a clay or grass coat, whatever? We need to create these 4 options now. So let me just take this code and we'll just modify some basic information. So in cup, I'm going to store this, and I'm going to replace with Tony name. So this is the variable where it is mentioned what kind of cup was that. Was it a Davis Cup or was that Australian Open, and so on. And then for the quote as well, let me paste the same, and we will just change the surface. So this is the variable surface in which the code details were mentioned. So I'm just going to replace everything in the same, and I'm going to change the variables. Now for the winner and loser, we have one more option. So filter df, and I'm going to say filter df, and in that we should give who is the winner, and if winner is 1, then I need to display my player name. Player name I log 0, the first one. And runner is the same. I'm going to give 0 here. That's the only difference. And now we are ready with all the variables what we want for the charts. So now I have to write all these variables into something in the sidebar. So the end user can see the selection he or she made. So I would say date of the match you selected, and I would give the variable name, that is your date select. And similarly, just have to replace everything, and we will just keep changing the fields here. So I'm going to give right is cup and the cup variable itself. And then we will give the coat, the surface of the match, and I'm going to give the coat, that is our variable here. And these two, the last 2 options for winner, and I'm going to give winner, and this is for runner up, and I'm going to give runner. So now we are done with the writing of the variables on the screen. That is also we are done with. Now we are ready to ask a couple of questions to Bard and ask it to generate some charts for us, because we are building a dashboard here. So I'm going to say to Bard to create a heading with blue font to display match summary. So this is what we will ask Bard to do. So I'm saying give Python code to create a heading in Streamlit with blue font to display the match summary. So this is the thing. So it gave me something, so I can just take the same. I can just paste it over there. So let me take this. So this is it. And maybe we will ask a couple of more questions and then we will compile at a time and see the output, how it is looking like. So next step, we will ask it to create a plotly plot, create a plotly grouped bar chart with aces in, with aces and double false as per the unique match num selected. So this should give me the chart, grouped bar chart for both the players in the match with aces and double false in it as per the match selected. So Bart should be able to remember the unique match selected. So now we need to give little more context saying, okay, this is the data frame looking like because it is not running in our local. So what can I do? I'll just paste this one as well as I'll give the data frame with head. That's what we are going to give now. So I'm going to ask Bart to give me the code for the following, the highlight. We'll just refine bit. So we'll say give me Python Streamlit code to create a plotly group chart and blah blah. We have given this and then I'm just doing a shift enter and I'm going to give the data frame top 3 rows and let's do an enter. So we got some code. So we can take this, change a bit and see how it is working. Okay, so we have pasted. So now a couple of things we may not need is we may not need these items because we already have them, and unique as well we already have covered it, so we'll remove this one as well, and then we will give the further information. Just going to give. So I'm going to change the name from df filter to filter df because that's the variable. So let me just change this filter df and we change it everywhere. Now the problem is it does not understand the selection made by the user because it is asking to do it group by. We have just selected one match and we are asking it to plot on that. And filter df is already taken into account, but it is still not able to understand that point. So next thing what we can do, we can just give a filter df columns instead of the entire data frame. So we can just give filter df rows only so Bart can understand our problem. So I'm going to remove the entire code we copied from Bart. Now I'm changing the prompt a bit. I'm going to say that this is my filter df only two row items as per the user selection. So I'm just going to paste that here. So it has taken as my as an image. So let me paste it in a notepad. it has given the code, but if you see here, it is giving a group by. It is not able to understand that we want only for those two players to play it. It is still not able to understand, so it is still giving as a group by. No problem. Let's give one more prompt which has just two items, which does not have multiple items. So let's give one more prompt and see. One more prompt. I'm saying create a plotly chart for overall number of wins for each player, irrespective of the unique match num selected by end user, with an option to filter players. So this is what I want exactly, or even we can stop it here, selected by the end user. This we can still remove it. This is the prompt we are giving. Create a plotly chart for overall number of wins for each player, irrespective of the unique match num selected by the end user. So this is what we are providing the prompt. So now let's check what is it giving to us. But we need to give the data frame as context because it is not running. So I'm just refining a bit. Give me Streamlit code to create a plotly chart, and I'm going to give the data frame head. So what if I don't want to give as an image? I want to give as a table. Let's see that. So I have pasted the entire details as it is here. So it should be able to understand a little bit at least. So this is the entire prompt. It is how it is looking like. So we should take this and we should try once how the output is looking like. So we will remove these three as we already have them handy, and we will also remove the dataset loading bit, and then we would say df.groupby. That is our df, so we don't have to change anything anymore, and we have everything else in place. So let's check how this particular portion is panning out to be. So with the given input on BART, this is the plot what we got. So it is able to plot with group I, and it is able to give us the number of wins for each of the players with the zoom in feature, which is directly available on Plotly. So it is able to give us this particular plot. But when we are asking it to take the user selection into account, it is not able to take incorporate that in the code. So probably let's try with one more chart overall and see how that is coming out to be. I'm going to give another prompt saying create a new data frame with only player country and wins or losses columns, and plot a plotly chart on the new data frame to show number of wins or losses per country. So this is what I'm going to give to the to the bard for prompting. So I'm going to give this prompt, and I'm also going to give this particular two rows as it is. So I don't have to give anything new. I'm giving this particular two rows of the data frame, and I'm asking it to give me a Python Streamlit code to create. The remaining everything will remain the same. So let's just enter this question. So it is giving this particular the code. Let's copy and see how this is, whether we have to do a lot of changes or whatever. Let's see this. I'm entering this. So the first couple of lines again not needed. We have already imported, and this is creation of new data frame. We have already started the service, so we just have to save this. Now it is creating issue. Why? Because there is no variable called as player country, and there is a variable only with nationality. So I'm going to change this to different variable in BARD. And now it is able to pick the word nationality from our data frame. So now this should be able to, this should run now. And say rerun. Now we got this. So each country, how many wins or how many losses, if you want to just zoom in a bit, you should be able to zoom in and see, okay, this is value is 181, this value is 138 and so on. So you have a lot of changes in each of these items. So this is a very rough graph it has given, but it has picked up what we suggested to do that. So this is about BARD. So now we are going to use GitHub Copilot and see different prompts how it is working. Already imported the libraries. Just we need to copy couple of steps from the other particular file, other tennis file. So let me copy all these items. What is here? So I'm just going to give this entire one, and I'm going to paste it here. So this is our the common items. We don't have to do any changes. So let me give a long line so we know this is a common code. Right. So let's give a couple of comments. The same, we'll start with the same ones as bar. So we would say create a heading with blue font to display the math summary. I'm going to give this heading blue font in Streamlit to display math summary. And it is able to give me, okay, this is the math summary it has given, and this is working. So just we need to call this particular function and math summary. Yeah, this worked.
So we are going to say here that to create a plotly chart, create a simple plotly chart with to compare the points won by winner and runner based on the unique match num selected by the end user. So this is the prompt what we are going to give. So yes, this is right. This is also right, right? So this is the prompt what we are going to give to the Copilot. And let's see the output, how we are getting. So this is right. So we just have to add this one line. I think after that it should work. Somehow it did not give us that option. So we are rerunning. Yes, now you have got this. So we are saying aces and double falls for Felix, the winner, and the runner-up is Roberto. So we are getting for both. Let's select one more option and see how it is working. We are giving one more. That is working. It is working fine. I'm giving another prompt to just to see something else. Create a plotly chart to compare first winning percentage, and this is coming out. I mean, this has got our intent right. So first winning and second winning percentage is what we want. So it has got the output correct. So now let's see this output of this particular code. So what I'm going to do right now is that percentage that is not there. It's just first in and second in. So that is the variable, that is the variable it is. So we are just going to change it to that. So it's just variables what we are changing. First in and second one. So now we should rerun this. Yeah, now this also it's coming out properly. So first win and second one, what is the winners and losers? So, but that's not exactly what we are giving. So let's change it a bit. So I'm saying plotly chart, create two plots next to each other. So I want horizontally next to each other for first and second winning percentage of two players as per the unique match num selected. So it has created two figures, and first figure subtitle, it's subtitle. Second one, and the second plot, and it has got that correct. So SNS we have not imported, hence we need to just import that as SNS. That's all. It should, yeah. The errors have gone. So now let's see what is it. So we are just changing some basic things. So we are rerunning this. Yeah, so this is the output what we were looking for. So we got first winning percentage, second for both Casper and the other player. So this is as per the match selected. Now let's give one more prompt to see. We are just changing a bit. So we are saying first and second winning percentage overall, and it is saying go figure, right, right. Next. So it is saying player name and first one, and then player name and second one, we should get the output. Rerun. Yes. So first winning percentage and second winning percentage, I think we got this right. So we are good on that aspect. I'm giving one more prompt to see. Create a subheading in blue color. So we want to create another section, blue color, to display overall statistics of the match. So we don't want to have a selection, we want to see overall match statistics, and it is giving us the code. This is right, and we are just calling that particular function. This is right. So let's rerun and see how the output is coming in the Streamlit application. And yeah, since it is going to be right, so create a plotly chart for overall number of wins for each player irrespective of the unique match num selected by end user. It has got this right. So it would first calculate. That's also right. This is right. Now We are waiting for another output from GitHub Copilot. It is not giving us another output, so we are just giving a little more prompting, saying create a new data frame with only player, country, or nationality. We are giving both, or we can remove only nationality with wins and losses columns. So each country with its nationality and wins and losses column. So I think this is what it has got right. So rename the columns. We are saying plot a Seaborn plot to see overall wins and losses per each nationality, and we are just giving an enter. We are saying figure, this is right, it has got it right, this is also right. st.pyplot, we just have to plot this figure and we will say rerun. We got the heading, we got the output as well. So we are not validating the data, but we are validating the code, how it is coming out to be, right? So this has got it right with the output. Create a stacked 3D plotly chart to compare the number of games won on different surfaces by each player. We got it right. So let it create a new data frame. It created. This is also right. So we don't need that. So we create a stacked bar chart in plotly to compare the total number of points won and all. So it is getting it correct. So we should remove the previous one. So we are giving the prompt, create a stacked bar chart instead of 3D. Create a new data frame with only player and name and surfaces. Created new, yes. Created stacked bar chart. Go figure. And it has given three different bars for each one. So the top three players in tennis. So we got for these three players, Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic. So it is updating the layout. Yes, the title and the axis names. This is fine. Display the bar chart, plotly chart. Now we got it right. So what is it saying? So for the three different players, we got for the clay, grass, and hardcore, how many times have these two players won? So this is the output what it is giving. While it is running fine, this is not what we were expecting, right? So we should change the prompt a little bit and see the output. We are giving a different prompt saying create a plot to plotly plot to compare players wins on various surfaces. Let's see what is it giving. It is saying it will create new data frame. Okay, okay, this is fine. This is also fine. Plotly chart, and this is saying player winner surface. Display the plotly chart. So rerun and see the output. Okay, we got another plot. So this is giving us stacked bar charts of each player and what they have won on clay, grass, and hard. So if you are looking at a player Steve, we want to zoom in. We can zoom in like this and we can see how much Sitsipas has won or how much Stan has won. So this is the comparison, the stacked bar chart. So the key takeaways from this is one, for Bard, even after giving the data frame details or local variables, it is still not able to give us the exact code. So which means that the code needs a lot of changes. On the other hand, for GitHub Copilot, does not give consistent results every single time. The code keeps changing. That could be part of their approach, that there will be different approaches of generating the code, but it is not generating exactly the same code every single time. So these are the key takeaways from the exercise we just did. And thank you so much for watching. That's all for this video. Thank you.